Hello and welcome to the sophomore edition of News Across Nigeria for the week. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Coming up on the program, the President directs National Emergency Management Agency to bring succor to the victims of the recent flood disaster. Middle Belt Forum calls for referendum on restructuring. And in the South-South, the Edo State Internal Revenue Collection becomes automated for easier tracking of accruable revenue. Thank you for joining us. We begin in the northern region. The President has directed the National Emergency Management Agency to do everything it can to bring succor to victims of the recent flood disaster in Katsina State that killed over 40 persons and damaged hundreds of homes. In a statement on the incident, President Muhammadu Buhari says he is sad about the havoc wreaked by the floods in his home state, as well as other parts of the country. Part of the statement reads, quote, "As rescue and prevention efforts continue, let me express the sincere condolences of my family, the government and people of Nigeria to all the victims of the destruction by the floods. Let me assure you that we stand ready to provide, within available resources, every assistance that is needed to bring comfort to those in distress." End of quote. The rainstorm, which lasted for over 2 hours, ravaged the town of Jibiya in the state on a scale the state government says had never been witnessed before. Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency and the Katsina State Emergency Management Agency are wasting no time to bring relief to the victims affected by the flood disaster. 3 of 13 trucks conveying relief items are already on their way to Jibiya Council, where most of those displaced are taking refuge. The deployment comes as rescue efforts continue to find those missing as a result of the flooding. The rain reportedly fell through Sunday into the early hours of Monday.
A day that will always be remembered and one that would rather be forgotten. It is difficult to believe that the devastation seen here was caused by a downpour that lasted only about 2 hours. However, for residents in Jibiya local government area of Katsina State caught up in the resulting flood that destroyed their homes, it seemed to be an eternity. The acting chairman of Jibiya local government narrates how it happened.
And I was made to understand both this river, the very big river we have, and the fund we have inside town. You know the volume of water that came. Definitely, if the water should be washed away from the town, certainly the big river will not allow that water to enter the river. So based on that, the river overflowed. The water had to come back inside town, thereby taking almost 1,000 houses.
The helplessness of the people can be heard in their chorus panic. Others only sit around, perplexed by the situation. 45 people have been killed by the flood. Animals are also part of the casualty list. Residents rummage through the rubble in search of what they can recover. Those who are able to retrieve their belongings move them to a safer place, anywhere but here. The disaster has brought the state governor to the scene. He assures the people that they will receive the necessary support.
It is high time for us to think on ways to assist those affected by the rainstorm and take adequate steps to prevent recurrence. To this end, necessary assistance will be given to the victims affected by last night's rainstorm, and we will take measures to provide alternative channels for water in their local government area.
Nature has taken its course as it should, but the result, in the eyes of the people, is too much for them to bear. What they look forward to urgently now is when the promised relief will get to them, before the next downpour does.
Staying with the flooding in Katsina State, the public relations officer of the Katsina State Emergency Management Agency, Mohammed Umar, gives an update.
And people are moved to camp, one primary school inside the Libya town. There are about 1,500 households. All the stakeholders are here taking all their needs, at least doing one thing or the other for them. It's flooding. And flooding is all about blockage of waterways and other things. So I think ecological problem. People, the government has to come and have drainages for them and other waterways for them. So first thing is food, shelter, maybe bedding. If I say bedding, it's included mattresses, blankets, mosquito nets, and other sanitary items. As the party is also here, taking about health problems and other things. That's the issue. Now, NEMA are aware of this problem. As I'm talking to now, I think they said 2 is on way to Chicha now, containing food items and other logistics. That's
Elsewhere, delegates to the Middle Belt Forum rally on restructuring we held in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, have called for a referendum that will allow for minority ethnic groups in northern Nigeria to decide where they belong, delivering what the forum referred to as the Makurdi Declaration. A former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Abadaya Malaifa, challenged the federal government to relax the absolute power concentrated at the center. For the president of the forum, Mr. Bitrus Pogu, he decried the alleged political intolerance on the part of the federal government by denying leaders of Ohanese, Afenifere, and the South-South Forum the landing permit on their way to the Makurdi rally.
Restructuring Nigeria has been a major issue of discourse in the country's political space. The latest call is coming from a group, the Middle Belt Forum, who gathered at the IBB Square in Makurdi, Benue State capital. The arrival of the governors of Taraba and Benue State kickstarts the event. With the theme, Restructuring Nigeria and Reawakening the Position of the Middle Belt, the forum seeks for a referendum that will promote equity and justice.
The two proposed Middle Belt regions should comprise Western Middle Belt and Eastern Middle Belt. They should make out the 6 existing North Central states, in addition to Southern Borno, Southern Kebbi, Southern Kaduna, and parts of Adamawa and Gombe. Through the process of a referendum, ethnic nationalities must be given the choice of which regions they would prefer to belong to. We envisage a 2-tier federation in which the federating units will be governed by a governor general, and there shall be 54 states out of 36 currently existing.
The issue of cattle colonies is also of concern to the group, with the forum criticizing the subtle way in which the federal government has handled the issue.
Government's body language through its actions or inactions seem to suggest complicity at every instance. That message is a cold indifference to the fate of thousands of victims.
For the two governors, decentralizing the security architecture is key, especially with the killing of Nigerians in the Middle Belt.
In America, you have the federal police, you have the state police, and you have the local government police. What is beyond the local government police, the state police steps in. What is beyond the state police, the federal police comes in. And this is how it being operated, where we copied this constitution from. But in Nigeria, all these were dropped. I will at this point like to thank the Senate and the Federal House of Representatives for dusting the Constitution and now thinking of bringing back state police. And they should quickly also pass this law, because it will go a long way to stopping these continuous killings and killings of innocent citizens.
A lot of blood of middle belters have flown, as they say. That blood is crying for justice, and the blood will continue to cry until we get justice.
The agitation for restructuring is gaining grounds by the day, and delegates here want Nigerians to hold the present administration accountable for reneging on its 2015 promise to return the country to the path of true federalism.
Coming up on News Across Nigeria, counsel to the detained former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki indicate that he's fulfilled his bail conditions. Please stay with us.